起初我回收的时候是为了赚钱而去做，然后后来觉得这些东西丢掉太可惜。
我觉得一个人的垃圾是另外一个人的宝。
When people ask for fish, give them a fishing rod. Some people call me Kalanguni monk.
Our philosophy of recycling things, not to throw away. There's nothing called rubbish.
我害怕病情继续恶化。
我像影子一样徘徊在别人的命运边缘。
我们谈判专家不是奇迹制造者。
身为法医，我们为冰冷的证据发声。
我是守护者，守护一块土地，一片海洋。
我叫白明强，我的工作是到每个供应回收他们所不要的东西处理掉了。哦，这个还是新鲜的，好好的，这个好的布料啊，都没有坏啊。这是衣服来的，裙子啊，我们可以给斯里兰卡那边啊，他们很需要啊。这是我听电话。是斯里兰卡班的师傅了，他问我可不可以帮他载一些东西去他的集装箱那边。我问他这些东西是拿来做什么，他说那边的寄给他们的居民啊，还有学校啦，有些拿去那边当地的医院啊。电视机好的，不要弄坏。那时候我是觉得，我也是在做慈善的，所以我就把我的一些家私，然后问他要不要，然后我拍照给他看，他说可以，我就送去给他咯。我帮他收集比较大样的床垫啊，还是小小样的东西，他都要，他可以用的他都要。我们合作有3年了，到现在有5个集装箱过去了。
我是如宝法师，我住在斯里兰卡。I had a friend, he was working in one charity foundation in Singapore. And because of this, I was able to negotiate with them and get a certain number of wheelchairs and walking aids. We are so-called third world country. Many people's daily income is very, very low. And also they don't have savings. By the time they recognize with the sickness, they have so much economic burden. That means they cannot afford to buy wheelchair or any other medical equipment.
මට මුලින්ම මට පෑගුණා කටුවක්. ඒ කටුවෙන් විසක් ගිහිල්ලලු ඇතුළට. මේක මෙතනින් අයින් කළා. ඒ අයින් කළා දැන් බේර ගන්න අමාරුයි. ඒ කියන්නේ වත්තුමක් නෑනේ ඉතින් ලක්ෂණ කොටි ගානක්. මම ඉතින් කාලේ යනවා බෙහෙත් වලට මාසෙකට යනවා. බර ගානක් යනවා ඉතින් බෙහෙත් වලට අපිට බෙහෙත් වලට. එයා මට සෑහෙන උදව් කළා තිනවා වඩුමල් ගෙනත් දීලා තිනවා මම දෙම්ම ගෙනත් දීලා තිනවා එයා කියලා තිනවා මට ගෙවල් දොරවල් හදා දෙන්නම් මම මෙහෙ
I have so many friends and devotees and Buddhist organizations. I have some connection with many countries, so I use this personal connection to get some donations. We also collect other daily necessary things for family lives, especially for students. We will distribute among the poor children in Sri Lanka who cannot afford to buy those things because their parents are so poor. During the COVID time, I started to distribute foods for those people who are stranded in the houses. That time I went to one house, and that one lady who was met with an accident, and I saw their house. The house roof was leaking, and their toilet was fallen into the toilet cesspit, and she asked whether I can help. That's how I started building. Yeah. After finishing this project, I have some leftover funds. Then I know one lady, also a single mother, so I go and help them to build up their house also with the remaining funds. I also use the materials or whatever I collect from Singapore. So far I built like 3 houses and 2 toilets, and the 4th house is on the way. We don't have a proper place to sleep, no water, no electricity, no basic needs. So, considering all these things, I decided I help him and build a house for him.
No water, very problem. Can this make a coil cadaver than
My name is Kehmarama. Some people call me Kalanguni monk. So when I was in Singapore, I saw my neighbor, they throw a lot of things. Radio, television, other electrical items. Then I go and pick them from the dustbin. Then the people started to recognize me, and they spread the news all around Singapore, from one house to another house. What they want to throw, then they contact me first. Anything that they give from their house, I'll bring Sri Lanka. I make use of all those items to help people. Because I saw what they throw, I know this thing people have not seen, they value. Then I know how to make use of things. When there is an opportunity, when there is a way that we can repair and make use of it, why waste? Please open this one. Okay, on the thing. What is the problem? No power. My mind is always very mechanical type. I like to do mechanical things. Open and check the power unit. Radio is not working. I see why it is not working. So I, based on my own knowledge, cause and effect. There must be a reason for it. Inquo. Then I repair. This is a short circuit. And the capacitor have to be changed. Dyslexia, this one. The copy machine. Yeah, it was also given by Singaporean. I don't think it's working. Otherwise, they won't give. It's such a good machine, complicated one. So I brought it down here and I looked into what is the cost. I rearrange and make it working and give it to him, the hotel management.
This is from Bante. Very recently, only 2 weeks before. Those two from Bante.
He is teaching how to make coffee, how to cook. So in hotels, you need to know everything from the very beginning, from the kitchen to the whatever it is. So at least they are using it. When people ask for fish, give them a fishing rod. I always have this idea, what I can share with others to boost their economy. I came back this year from Singapore to Sri Lanka, my own kampung, my own village. So this is my hometown, and I can see the people need me more than the people overseas. Most of the villagers are not educated. They are very innocent. They don't think about tomorrow. Their living standard is very poor. So my intention is to make them think. There's a tomorrow, prepare for it. There's a future.
我做素食有10多年有啊，然后做生意没有办法 cover 那些租金的就不做了。我哥哥也是做五金回收的，然后他介绍我。还好，起初我回收是为了赚钱而去做，然后后来做的时候，觉得这些东西丢掉太可惜，有些一房一厅的，我们去看他的屋子是蛮可怜，就是有些都连一冰橱啦、衣柜啦这些洗衣机都没有啊，所以我们就会拿去捐给他们啊。有一次我在嘎浪那边看到有一些老人家排队拿饭。然后我说：“哎，为什么新加坡还有这么多老人会拿饭？原来是有一些慈善团体分饭给老人家吃。我的心好像觉得新加坡的人还是要说实话，还是要照顾他们啊。”起码他今天的饭有一点着落了，他今天不会饿肚子这样。
I have been doing this so-called Kalanguni job or recycle job from year 2005 up to today. මෙහෙම කරමු. සල්ලි දෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. අරන් ගිහිල්ලා පාවිච්චි කරලා පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ නැද්ද වලට ආපහු ගෙන කරලා ගෙනල්ලා දෙන්න කියලා. තවත් කෙනෙකුට දෙන්න පුළුවන් එතකොට. Sometimes once things are given to some people, they grab. I say no. I love material things, but then I don't attach. I don't attach nothing because that's a Buddhist philosophy. So we don't belong anything. Love is love. We take care of things because we love. No attachment means we are ready in time to detach.
每个月的最后一个礼拜，我们就会送东西给那些居民，所以尽我们的能力，我们都做得到，我就做了，这样啦。
我叫美玲，我是一个房产经纪。我认识明强差不多有8年了。我们每次收到很多家具，如果没有给人家，就很浪费。因为有时候我们的房客不需要，房东就要丢掉，我就会问他们可以捐给我们吗？我们可以帮助其他的人。我觉得一个人的垃圾是另外一个人的宝。
他们住的房子都是1房1厅的。有一个客户，他家里没有洗衣机，然后刚好看到有一个洗衣机，他就很开心。OK， thank you 啊，terima kasih。他们开心啊，然后我们也是很开心。
No， 不是，20多年前，那时候我也是买东西给一个 non-profit organization， 说他有带我去楼上看这些人，我们会去打听先，看他们需要什么东西。我觉得他们需要的是一种友情。这些人是很孤独的，我们不只是做慈善活动，我们也是有去跟他们交朋友。跟他们讲话。这是我们第3次来这里了。其中一个屋子里面有2个老人躺在床上。有人在家吗？一个不可以走路，一个不可以讲话，因为他的舌头有cancer。我回去的时候，我的眼泪一直掉，我的内心通通变了。From 一个 materialistic 女孩子，什么都要买。以前我有很多东西，我每次买衣服，每次买 handbag， 每次买鞋子，但是我看到人，他们没有脚怎么办呢？也不可以走路。这些 material things 是我们走了，我们不可以带走。说我改变我自己，我觉得我应该出来帮忙穷苦的人。
I always try to help those who are really poor. I pay the daily wage so that we can maintain the construction with the limited budget. I go when the workers are working, and sometimes I come with the dirty robe. Buddha said, if you cannot use it as outer robe, then you cut into half and make it an under robe. And if you cannot use it as an under robe, then you must use it as a bed sheet. If you cannot use it as a bed sheet, you must use it as a doormat. If you cannot use this cloth as a doormat, you use to touch the hot pots in the kitchen. And if that also cannot be done, then you use as a building material to make the walls in the temple. So that's our philosophy of using things, recycling things, not to throw away. That means everything, there's nothing called rubbish.
එදා සිහිනෙන් ගොඩනැගූ